River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan, here with just Eric today. Eric, how are we doing?
Hey, doing great, man. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. We've been in the midst of our off-season of every other week. No James today. We are going to have James on Friday's episode, though. We were going to do our mental health special today, but we're pushing that to Thursday with James. We're definitely not doing that without him. So today, what we're going to be doing is, kind of a state of the franchise, kind of a loosey-goosey. I'll be honest, we didn't exactly... The schedule change happened very abruptly while I was at work. Well, we were both at work, I should say. And, you know what? I just kind of came up with, guys, we need to relax. We need to relax this off season. We don't have to talk about Brandon and how it's embarrassing. We haven't signed him yet that James would egg on. Like, I'm not even wearing a Niners hat today. I'm wearing a Yellowstone hat today because I just got this hat today, but but I'm also very eager for that, as I'm eager with a bunch of other things that have been happening that we could be talking about too. Like, we just had Memorial Day. Did you have fun for Memorial Day? Or the whole weekend, I should say.
Yeah, I had a good Memorial Day weekend. Hung out with my kids. We are on kind of like a Monopoly kick right now, so played a lot of Monopoly. I am the champion of Monopoly right now, so won most of the games. That was fun, but yeah, I just really spent a lot of time with them and hung out and had a blast. So yeah, it was a good weekend.
Oh, that's what's up, dude. I spent a bit of time with my in-law, not laws. There's only the in-law mother, and then I spent a lot of time with my mom and celebrated my city, having a lot going on. It was super rainy, but the Indy 500 still happened after like a 5-hour delay. And then the Pacers got blown out, and I'm very mad that I wanted them to at least get to 5 games, because let's be real, Boston was going to win, but it was still pretty cool. Memorial Day weekend, they got to host 2 conference championship games when they were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
So they weren't even supposed to be there in the first place. So I'd say they had a pretty good season overall. And then, I definitely was not happy that my $10 didn't turn into anything after an 18-point lead, mind you. No.
Still a little bitter.
If it was the 4th game and it was within 5 points the entire time, like a real nail biter, like, I would not be as mad. But no, the one where they blew an 18-point lead, I'm a little pissed. I was a little angry, and I think I had a couple drinks when I was texting you too, how mad I was. But no, that aside, it was only $10 too. There's no reason for me to be that mad, but no, it was still a super fun weekend. And I just, tying it to the theme of just, let's just relax, guys. It's the off season. There's really nothing to really talk about, like, Niner wise. Like, it's kind of cool that Nick Bosa's at OTAs, but dude, it's OTAs. They're going to be done next week, and then we get all of June, most of July until right before training camp. It's cool that Bosa's there, but other than Brandon still not signed, and apparently Juwan Jennings isn't signed yet either. Did I break that news to you in our group chat that Juwan actually didn't sign his tenure after all?
Yeah.
I thought he did. I mean, I don't see why he won't. I don't know anyone that else is going to pay him $6 million or 5.5, whatever the second round tender's worth.
No, he'll be back at some point in time. I mean, a lot of these guys don't want to do OTAs anyways, so I mean, it's an easy way to get out of this. Just not sign your tender or not sign your deal, and then you can be like, "Oh, I'm holding out of OTAs," and you're really like, just don't want to be there anyways, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, Brandon, we've talked ad nauseum already about this, and we'll talk about it obviously when he does sign, but we don't sign contracts until August. So Brandon, I'm holding out faith Brandon's going to be fine. Juwan, he'll sign because no one else is going to sign him with $5.5 million.
Yeah.
An OTA team that needs to worry about their holdout, though, is the Bengals. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are both holding out right now because they both want money. Or is it T. Higgins? I always get their 2 and 3 mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not the Bengals at least. Even though, oh, I wish I put that picture in here. I was trying to make sure all the pictures are actually right, but I should have uploaded that picture of Joe Burrow and his Susan Sarandon haircut.
I don't think I don't know what Chase is doing holding out though. I don't think he's due for another contract yet. I don't think he's even eligible to renegotiate yet.
Jamar Chase was when was he drafted? I'm trying to pull up his Wikipedia. He got drafted in 21, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, he's a little early. I guess he's trying to make them pay him now, which is kind of dumb because why would they void the 5th-year option and sign him to a deal now?
Does he not know what franchise he plays for? I mean, just 0% chance of getting a new contract on this contract year. It's no shot.
No, absolutely not. They need to sign Trey Hendricks first. Like if I've never gushed about him on mic before, besides just to you guys, Trey Hendrickson is an edge rusher that plays without gloves, and that is badass. And they need to re-sign him because I think he had like 13 sacks last year. Like he didn't have a nothing season. They need to re-sign him because he was holding out for money. So yeah, he's going to be a priority over Chase when he's signed for 2 years technically, because of course, if they had to make that decision today, they would of course pick up his 5th-year option.
Well, yeah. I mean, that just doesn't, this franchise since the beginning of time has historically cheaped out and not paid people. There's no way all of a sudden they're going to be like, we should pay this guy extra money now. That's what we should do. That's no chance of that happening.
If anybody's too young, I was too young to follow it in the moment. Like it was just out of my radar. I was like little when Carson Palmer requested his trade from the Raiders.
You mean when Carson Palmer retired so he didn't have to play for the Bengals anymore?
Yeah, it was. I know the story now, but like in real time, it was just a little ahead of me paying attention like that deep into football. But yeah, that was. I can see now in hindsight that was a colossal mess.
Yeah, T. Higgins, I understand. Like that makes sense, but like Chase, like I get from his perspective. He's great, and I can understand why he wants paid, but like,
does he not know that he can break Justin Jefferson's record next year?
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson's going to get like 35 or 36 million AAV. And then right behind him will be, who else is holding out for a contract? Who's the other one?
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. I can see Justin Jefferson getting like 36, and then CeeDee Lamb is going to get like 34 or 5, maybe 35 and a half. And then Brandon's going to sign one probably 32 because he wants to be higher than Amon-Ra St. Brown, allegedly. So, like, Jamar can get 38 next year.
Yeah. Just read the room, Jamar. You're never going to get an extra drop of money out of the Bengals franchise, man. It's just not going to happen.
No, this is the wrong franchise. Joe Burrow is such an anomaly. Like, this is the wrong franchise to pick a money fight with.
Yeah, you're always going to lose. But whatever, more power to you. Have fun.
You can make the argument that we're hard to get money out of, but we do pay. We make you wait. We make you sweat for it, but we pay.
Yeah, the Niners traditionally always pay. They just
they make you sweat for it.
Yeah, they don't. They have certain concepts, and they have certain terms, and they have certain ways that they want the deals to be, and they seem to stick pretty firm and pretty hard to what they want the terms to come out to. And that seems to be the real sticking point on a lot of these deals with Debo and with Bosa and with Warner and with everybody that we've had to deal with over the last few years. They're trying to get these very team friendly, I guess. I don't know that they're that friendly, but team structured deals that they really want. And they're willing to play chicken all the way up until the beginning of the regular season to get it. And right, wrong, good or bad, it's worked out in the Niners' favor. The collective bargaining agreement where they can find the shit out of players and make them pay. What if it's like $50,000 a week or something like that for every game they miss or something like that? I mean, it's some ridiculous amount of money that the players get fined.
They can't waive excuse me, they can't waive the game ones, but they can waive the training camp ones, right?
Something like that. But I mean, it's still a ridiculous amount of money that these guys end up getting fined now. Whereas before they would get fined and then it was just like magically like, oh, poof, gone, and it didn't matter. Whereas now it holds. So I mean, these guys don't want these fines when push comes to shove. I mean, you're still making, like a guy like Brandon is making like $4 million, on this year's deal. I mean, he doesn't want to pay, $2 million in fines. I mean, no one wants to do that. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, no, Brandon's making 14 on the franchise tag if he plays this year on the tag.
Oh yeah. But I mean, yeah. So I mean,
the same thing. You get the crap tax out of you in California, so he's only taking home like 7.5, maybe 6 3/4.
Yeah, so you still don't want to pay $2 million in fines out of that. I mean, that's a lot of money. So,
yeah.
They're, like I said, the Niners are willing to play chicken to get the terms that they want out of deals, and that's kind of the hard ball that they sort of play. But they do pay. I mean, to your point, they will pay. I mean, Bosa got a boatload of money. Debo got a boatload of money at the time. Warner got a boatload of money. Kittle got a ton of money at the time. So I mean, and Purdy is going to get a crap ton of money next year. So I mean,
oh yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. It's just you gotta do it their way. So
who was it? Leonard Floyd got a $30 million 2-year contract, didn't he? Wasn't it 30 million or was it 20?
I guess 20.
Like it was a decent amount of money, but it wasn't like he didn't shatter any records. But no, he got a decent amount of money for a 31-year-old pass rusher, or a 30-year-old pass rusher. So no, we will pay. Just some players have to sweat it out, and others don't. No, you talking about the CBA actually reminded me that the NFL is going to be doing they're going to be testing getting rid of the chain gang. Like something actually substantial and big, let alone the changes to the kicking that we're going to see this year. But we might not have a chain gang anymore. Like, what did you think about that?
Well, I think it's about time. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous that for the last however many years of football, we've had two dudes with sticks coming out to determine, if somebody made a first down or not, on this archaic concept of, a chain measuring 10 feet or 10 yards when, we've got all this technology now that can spot the ball and measure the preciseness. I mean, we can track how fast a guy is running down the field and how much, inches of separation he has between him and the next guy around him and all this stuff. But yet we can't tell where the ball is. I mean, like, come on. So, I mean, I think it's definitely time that we start using that and move forward with that technology. I hope they expand it. I mean, I hope they use it to see, like, when the ball breaks the plane of the goal line. I mean, I think that's the next logical step to take it. If they can really prove that it works for determining a first down, then let's use it to determine whether the ball breaks the plane of the goal line or not. Because, I mean, how many times, does a guy, the guy's got the ball stuffed in here like this, and he goes diving through the pile,
mm-hmm.
And we're looking at 20 camera angles and the camera's spinning around and all these things. And you're like, well, the guy's in there somewhere and he's got the ball. He's tucked in his right arm and, his shoulder's over the goal line. So his arm's probably got to be over the goal line too. I know we can't see the ball, but it's probably got it. Jim, it's over there. Well, I hear you, Romo. And I mean,
what about how's that? Is that going to, like, for just your general run-of-the-mill play, yeah, like where one guy tackles the other guy out and he stretches his hand out, that's going to be great for that. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, like, what about, like, dog piles, like tush pushes, or a running back that decides to go under the line instead of over the line, where we have to trust that his knee did or didn't touch the ground, like, because, yeah, the siren might have gone there, the signal might have gone off to the infrared sensors, but what about if if we can't prove that the guy's knee did or didn't touch? Like, there we go, because that's definitely going to happen at least once.
I don't know, put sensors in their knees too. I mean, like, just put sensors. I mean, like, on their all over their body parts. I mean, like, it shouldn't be that hard, right? I mean, I should be able to put a sensor in their knee pad to tell whether or not their knee was down or something, right?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
it's gonna be great for the ones where last year or 2 years ago, Lamar jumped over the group, and I mean we had the camera angle that saw the ball didn't cross the line before the Bengals hit it out.
yeah,
But for other situations like that, that's gonna be great to see if they got just enough, and then like it crossed the line before it got fumbled. Like there's gonna be tons of moments like that where it's gonna actually like matter and be very helpful if this technology actually can be implemented correctly and
yeah,
accurately.
yeah. Well, can we change the rule about fumbling out the back of the end zone too? I mean, I would like to change that while we're on that subject. I mean, let's do that. Let's do away with that too.
I've
So,
heard one argument that I kind of understood where they were coming from, where from a defensive standpoint, there's so many penalties already that are stacked against you to like set you up to fail. Like anything can be a pass interference. You have to hit in this exact target zone, or you're going to get flagged for roughing or horse collar, or now it's a hip drop tackle. Like there's already so many fouls set up to make the defense fail that maybe give them this one that's such a catastrophic flip to get their offense back on the field. Like let's just let them have this one fail safe that doesn't actually happen that often. I'm not saying I'm on his side. I am on your side, but hearing that argument, I was like, okay, that's the best argument I've heard to keep that rule, even though I still agree with you. I think it's stupid and it's way too OP. Like it's not OP is not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. I think
yeah,
it's way too harsh.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could go with that. I mean, I don't know. I I mean, along those lines, like I kind of want to see them. I would like to see them change the pass interference rule because it's called so much now. I would like to see them just make it a 15-yard spot foul or a 15-yard foul as opposed to being a spot foul. I don't like the fact that it's spot foul with just the frequency that pass interference is called now. I mean,
I wouldn't say 15. I would say just 10 yards. Just move the length of a down or whatever you call that, what you call the 10 yards. Just move it 10 yards so it's automatic first down that way. It's not the overkill of 15 yards. And then, yeah, get rid of it being a spot, because it being a spot foul for like a 40-yard bomb, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just back when I watched football, growing up as a kid and stuff, I mean, like, pass interference, I mean, like it existed, but it like wasn't really a thing. I mean, guys.
You had to literally rip the guy's face mask.
Yeah. I mean, you had to really interfere with a guy to get a call. I mean, you had to really crush him before the ball got there to get a call, or
and push-offs were just a part of the game.
Yeah, or really obviously grab him, or some sort of stuff like that. I mean, any sort of just like contact and stuff was just, you were playing the game. And
you're trying to get open and he's trying to cover you. Like it's touch football. That's part of the game, is touching.
Yeah, so I mean, when you got a pass interference call back in the day, it was like, oh, okay, all right, the guy was pretty obviously cheating, so that makes sense. But like nowadays, it's just so common. You see probably, some games you'll see 4, 5, 6 pass interference calls in a game, and you're just like, ugh. And I mean, they change the game, so much, the momentum of a game, the parameters of the game, and just like the everything of a game changes so much on just a couple of those calls. Like you said, I mean, you heave one up, and I mean, it's not even a good play, and you're like, pass interference, and you're sitting there as a fan like, well, the guy was never going to catch that ball in the first place. But nope, that I think I've seen one time in my 40-some years on this planet where they've ever ruled a ball uncatchable. So I mean, like, they never do that. So I mean, it's always,
yeah.
I mean,
maybe once a month, if that.
Oh, yeah, if barely. But I mean, the ball's somehow always catchable no matter what. And so, I mean, it's some crazy play, and it's like, well, now you just gave him 40 yards. It's like, well, of course, now they're probably going to score points. I mean, like, you just gave him free huge advantage. It's like, I don't know. It seems too much to me now for as frequent as it's called. They can either call less, which I would enjoy. Like, I like not to flash back to the horror that was the Super Bowl, but I mean, I like when
Did they call only like 2 or 3 of them? Like, they really didn't pull the flag out in the game at all.
No. And I mean, I like when they just let them play. I mean, I think that's great. I mean, I think it makes for good football. You can argue that it would have been better had there been some actual holding called, but the fact that they kind of just let the cornerbacks and the receivers go at it and do their thing, I like that style of football better. So, I mean, I would prefer that they just let the players play and called less pass interference and still left the penalty be a spot foul, but they don't seem like they're going to do that. So in my world, I would rather they just make it a 10 or 15-yard penalty and then keep calling it with the frequency that they do.
Yeah, just flip the downs for 10 yards. You don't need to overkill with 15, and we definitely don't need to overkill with spot penalties. Like, I don't know. It seems like the whole time I've been like super conscious and like deep diving into football that like even all the way back to like 2010, like that's the main thing. That's one consistent thing that we've just complained. We've never gotten proper ways to call pass defense plays at all. Like the one year that we could review pass interference, how disastrous that was.
Yeah. I thought that would turn out to be a lot better than what it was, and it just turned out to be a disaster. But you're right, too, because you have defensive holding, which is a free first down all the time, which that sucks. How many drives are completely stalled out and going nowhere, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, defensive holding, and you're like, oh, geez, here's a free first down for the team to just keep moving on, and you're like, well, what was that? And, half the time you're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it sucks being a defensive player, basically. Like, unless you're a pass rusher, like, and even still, you have to worry about being held. But I'd rather be a pass rusher than a cornerback. Like, that's a hard ass position to play now.
Oh yeah, I mean, cornerback or maybe even safety is probably 2 of the hardest positions to play in the NFL now. And not because like their skill is so much more different than the other positions, but just like what you and I are talking about, the rules are just set up.
They're looking for you to mess up.
Yeah. The rules are just set up so against them that like you can't do hardly anything to actually play your position. I mean, safeties used to be able to come across the field and just murder people, well, they did, guys.
No, you're right. I've seen,
those little slot guys would be coming up the field and doing a little skinny post, trying to catch some ball, and would just get obliterated coming across the middle of the field by a safety. And
I've seen running backs say that safeties were the worst players, the player that they want to get tackled by the least because they had the most momentum.
Yeah, I mean, your running back would cut through the line and then dodge that linebacker, and boy, oh boy, here would come that safety who had just been cutting like a bullet the entire time right towards the line of scrimmage, and he would just plow, lining you up and crushing you. So, I mean, safeties used to do that stuff all the time. Your little slot receiver guy would come across the middle about one time against some teams, and that would be it, because A, he either wasn't getting back up, or B, he got back up and was like, okay, message received. I'm not coming across here again because I'm not going to get it again. So, I mean, there's a great clip of Ocho Cinco where he comes across, and it's Ray Lewis, so it's not a safety, but I mean, it's the same kind of concept. He comes across the middle sometime trying to make a cut, and he's trying to hit Ray, and Ray just obliterates him, and he's laying on the ground, and he's like, oh God, oh, and he comes back over to the sidelines, and he's like, oh God, guys, I tried to hit Ray. It hurts so bad. I tried to hit Ray.
Nope.
I mean,
good luck, buddy.
Yeah. So, I mean, they used to just play on a different level. And then cornerbacks the same way. I mean, like you and I were just talking, I mean, you used to be able to, you weren't pushing guys off and stuff, but, you were hand checking your way down the field. You were, going like this, and you were able to look back at the ball and still keep your hand on the guy at the same time to know where he was and stuff like that, and be able to feel your way kind of up the field with your receiver. And now you can't do that. You got your hand on the receiver, they're going to flag you immediately and stuff. So, I mean, now you've got to really, it's so much more difficult because now you've got to really run and watch the receiver, and you can't really turn to get your head back to watch the ball until the receiver sort of tips you off that the ball is coming, because you've got to watch the receiver the whole time. So yeah, it's way difficult.
You know how much BS it is when it's a curl back or a comeback and it gets flagged if the defender happens to be like, he let the guy behind him because he's trying to get the leverage for a deep pass, but then the receiver knows it's a comeback. He starts to come back, basically trucks the defensive back, and the back gets the flag. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's the most aggravating PI flag I see.
Yeah, that reminds me of that basketball play you were talking about, the finals earlier, which they outlawed, thank God. But Dwayne Wade used to do it all the time, where he would pump fake guys into the air and they would jump, and then as soon as they jumped, he would just jump into them and then throw the ball and get a foul. I mean, that was the thing. The NBA, they were doing that all the time.
What a loophole!
Yeah, they used to do that. That was like a thing for like, I don't know, it's probably a good 5 years in the NBA. I don't watch the NBA that much, but
that sounds like it should be banned.
Yeah, they would just, guys would get the ball and they would do this pump fake, and the guy would jump, and as soon as they jumped, they would just jump into them and then get a foul, and it was like,
God, that's so fun. That's so.
But they did finally outlaw that, so
they finally made that not a penalty, or like a penalty on the guy that did the jump.
I think it's just not a foul now. So like if the offensive player draws you into the air and then deliberately jumps into you, it's not a foul.
Oh, weird. I would think that if it used to be the defensive player, it should be on the offensive player, and then it's just a throw in, like not a free point for the defense. It's just a throw in.
No, I think because generally then the offensive player kind of has to because you have to be in the act of shooting for it to be a foul. So I mean, then the offensive player just kind of is like flinging the ball. So I mean, usually it ends up being a turnover, anyways. But
right. Yeah. No, I'm so fair weather to go into the weeds like this. Like,
oh, I know. I don't watch that much NBA either. I just know it because, like I said, Dwayne Wade used to do it all the time. He was, mind you, he was great at it. But I mean, like,
for sure.
Yeah, but I just know that they got rid of it because of him.
Oh, I can tie this into the Bay Area. I was telling my fiance my wife now. I was telling my wife about the Celtics sweeping the Pacers, and like, again, yeah, no, the Pacers weren't going to get past the Celtics, but I was hoping it would go to at least 5 so they could hang that meme banner that says "wasn't swept by Boston." Like, but no, I was just telling her about some finals history, because like that's the most knowledge I have about the NBA is select players and final history. And so I showed her that when Golden State literally went to like 8 finals in a row.
Oh, yeah.
It was I think it was 14 through 19. Yeah, it was 14 through 19 or 15 through 19. And then they only lost in 2016 to LeBron in Ohio and the Raptors in 2019, and then they won all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Just how stupid good Golden State was back then in the 2010s.
Yeah, they were amazing. It would have been nice to have been able to bet on them back then.
Oh, dude.
When they were winning like 73 games, it would have been really great to just bet the money line on them like every night and just make money.
Oh, so, dude, I remember at my old job in New York. I think it was it was 2018 or 19. I know I left in 19, but in one of those 2 years, I remember all of us rolling our eyes in the office because there was some NBA office pool, and everybody was just like, "Oh, hey, look, it's Golden State in the Western Conference again."
Yeah. Well, for a while, was it 3 years in a row? For 3 years, I think it was 3 years in a row. It was the Warriors and Cavs.
Yeah, that was 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
And they blew. And that 16-1 is so funny because they were up 3-0, and then the Cavs went on a 4-0 tear and upset them. Yeah. They lost 4 elimination games in a row, and that was also the year, if I have it right in my head, I think that was the year they set the regular season win record too.
I think so.
I think that was the season they won like, oh, was it 70 something games or like 68
73.
games?
Yeah.
And then they blew a 3-0 lead in the finals.
Yeah. Well, that year, I mean, LeBron was just
Otherworldly.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that he was doing on a basketball court was just astounding. I mean, he was on a level that, I mean, you had to just see to believe. I mean, he was doing things. I mean, he was averaging like a triple-double every single night in the playoffs that they were playing. I mean, it was ridiculous. That was the night that he chased down. I mean, I know you've seen the clip. That was the night he chased down Iguodala for that block from behind that he blocks off the backboard and all that stuff. And I mean, everybody was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that he made that play. I mean, like he was just doing things.
He was God mode. He was God mode that whole year.
Yeah. It was an absolute cheat code to have that year. And I mean, but it still took having Kyrie along with him, to make all that happen. So he couldn't do it himself. So, because they tried that in 2017 and it didn't work. I mean, they got to the finals, but he got crushed in the finals. So,
yeah, I was going to say Golden State ended up being okay because they won in 15, 17, 18, and then that little gap after losing in 19, they won again in 22. Like,
yeah,
all of them are perfectly fine winning. What's that, 5 and 8 years?
Yeah.
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
Or 4 and 8 years. Like, they're fine.
Yeah, they'll be all right. So, and all of them have gotten so paid, it's ridiculous. So it's fine.
Oh, it's incredible how easy it is for basketball to keep a core together if they want to.
Yeah.
Like, because I see, I follow the Magic too for don't ask why. And I see the Pacers and the Magic just rotate players over the past couple of years, just like clockwork. They never keep the same roster, especially the Magic because they're terrible. But but no, the fact that Golden State core stayed together as long as they have, like,
oh yeah.
Draymond Green is only like now starting to get bad, and Klay Thompson's just now starting to be a sixth man. Like,
Klay just got paid again.
Yeah,
Klay just got like 4 for $270.
I can't believe how stupid. Well, no, that guy from Dallas is about to get paid like a 7-year, 380. Yeah, Doncic's about to get he's eligible for a 3-year, $370 something million contract. Like,
yeah,
literally, like
he's real good. He's real good.
I remember dividing it, and it was like $68.5 million a year. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's real good though. Doncic real good.
Well, yeah. While we're taping this, tip-off's about to happen for Dallas sweeping the Timberwolves. So.
Yeah.
Obviously you're listening to this now, so you know, but
that's a valid point. Hey, listeners, who won?
it's very here in the past. We can only say it's very likely a Dallas and Boston finals.
Yeah.
Which no, Dallas is stupid good. I was impressed with Minnesota taking out Denver, but the Mavericks are making them look like a AAA team.
Well, I mean, Doncic is really, really good. I mean, people underestimate him, let's face it, because he's a white guy, right? And he's kind of a doofy white guy. Yeah. But people underestimate him because of that. But he's really, really good. I mean, he shoots well, he passes well, he rebounds pretty good. I mean, he plays both. He's a pretty decent defender. He shoots, lights out from threes. I mean, he does everything that you can expect offensively. And then, I mean, he's got Kyrie on his team, Kyrie's a total head case, and I don't really like Kyrie as a person.
We don't need to rehash what happened to him 4 years ago.
Yeah, but as a basketball player, strictly, if I just focus on the 48 minutes that Kyrie is on the court, Kyrie is one of the most talented basketball players in the NBA. So
totally.
If you can get him focused and keep his head on straight and get him to buy into your team and what you're doing, he's a top 10 talent out on the court, and he's capable of seriously elevating your team and elevating anybody around you because, again, he can score 30 points a night. He can shoot from outside. He has ability to find people on the court for assists, and he's a wizard with the ball. So, I mean, they've got two guys that can really just make things happen out there for them. They probably have even more beyond those two guys, but those, I mean, that's all I know about the Mavericks is just Doncic and Kyrie. But just those two guys is enough, generally speaking, to power them past just about anything. If those guys are on and playing their game and where they're supposed to be every night, that team's going to be tough to beat. Now, going up against the Celtics, you know, that's going to be a tall order because the Celtics have a ton of talent on their side too. And they've got the superstars to match. So I don't really know what that matchup would be like. Definitely going to be a challenge, I think, for both teams. And I'd have to know more about what Dallas fills out the rest of its roster with. But it would probably be fun to watch if I actually had ESPN.
I will give the Pacers a little bit of credit that only the first game was really out of hand, if from what I remember, because every other game I think was decided by like 5 or less points. Like the 18-point comeback was literally a 1-point game. The game yesterday was decided by 3 points, and I think the last game in Boston was decided by 4 points. Maybe it was 5. So like they gave it their all against Boston. Boston had to win those games. They didn't obliterate them except for game 1. So
yeah. Well, and you lost your best player the last 2 games, so
we still had an 18-point lead without Halliburton. Make me want to flip my desk. Like,
and you lost your $10 by 1 point.
Yeah. I had that just sitting in DraftKings. I was like, oh, I must have deposited this like after the Super Bowl. Like I forgot I had any money in it. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'll throw it in this game. They're on a 10-game home winning streak. And
I have been wasting so much. I say so much money. It hasn't been so much money because I've won a little bit here and there. But just every day, I'm essentially betting like $2 a day. I'm betting $1 on some team to it's a money line bet.
Yeah, a lot of baseball parlays.
Yeah, one team a day is a straight money line bet, but they have a bonus in DraftKings where if the team goes up by 2 runs, you automatically win.
Okay.
So like tonight, for instance, I took the Guardians. They're playing. I don't remember, somebody not very good actually. And so if at any point in time during the game, like say the first inning, some guy comes up and he hits a 2-run home run, right? Mm-hmm. Boom, my money line bet cashes. I automatically win. The Guardians could lose 35-2. My money line bet cashes because they got those 2 runs early on. So I've been playing. Okay. I've been playing that every day, and that's been hitting fairly all right. And then I've been going on, and I've just been making some sort of parlay myself every day, and just betting $1 on that every day, where I go and I pick 3 or 4 teams that I think are going to win, and I try to make them into my own little parlay and try to win that way. So I've just been. Just because there's no football to bet on, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with myself.
Oh, dude.
I'm betting stupid baseball games that I know nothing about. I literally go on the ESPN website. I just pull up the schedule of games for the day, right? And I go through and I look at all of the teams and I'm like, those teams' records are too similar. Those teams' records are that team's got a pretty good record over the other team. Let me see who's pitching. And then I look and I go, those 2 pitchers are too similar. I'm not betting on that game. And I'll look at the next one.
Then James will fill in the gaps. I know James fills in the gaps of like, oh no, this guy sucks against Philly. Go bet on that one.
Yeah, every now and then I get a winner from James. But then I'll look and I'll be like, I'm like, that guy's a really good pitcher. All right, I'm taking that team tonight. So I bet it all on basically like, what are the team's records? And then I look at their pitchers that are going that night. And if like the pitchers, like I find the best pitching matchup. So tonight, like I've got like I think a 4-team parlay going, but it's really just, I'm basically just betting all of the teams that like are doing well. So like I bet the Yankees a lot. I bet the Phillies a lot, bet the Dodgers a lot. But I mean, it stands to reason if those teams are going to win 90 or 100 games over the season, that like, I don't know, over the course of the season, those should all line up at some point in time and give me wins. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm shooting for. So
Well,
I don't
no,
know. We'll see. It's $1. I'm not losing a whole lot. I'm also
Yeah.
not making a whole lot. I mean, I think if I win today, I think I win like $4.60. So okay.
like the penny slot version of DraftKings.
Yes, exactly. I'm paying the penny slot. It's just enough. It's just enough to give me like some action and like make me interested. Like when we're done with the podcast, I'm gonna pull up ESPN and be like, "Oh, where are my teams at now?" Because I don't know what they've done for the last hour and a half. But I'll at least pay attention. I'm totally in on the guy though that James has been telling me about. My pitcher guy, Ranger Suarez, I think is his name, from the Phillies. That guy. I'm totally in on that guy now. He's like
so funny.
He's like 7-1. He's great. He's awesome.
Dang.
I've got my bet in for him to win the Cy Young. James and I split on his bet to win NL MVP. So
he has 7 wins this early in the season. That is really good for an individual pitcher.
He was undefeated until just yesterday. He lost for the first time yesterday.
You still got 7 wins on the eve of June. Like, that's not bad.
Yeah. Dude, when we bet him, he was plus 20,000 to win the NL MVP.
Oh. Holy crap.
Well, there's only been what did I tell James? There's only been there's only been 6 pitchers since 1984 that have won NL MVP. So like pitchers don't win the MVP very often. But we bet $5. If we win like $1,000.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So I was like, James was like, I'll give you half. I was like, I'm in.
I will live vicariously through you after that Pacers game made me so mad. I will live vicariously through you. I get to, I don't know, call it a thing with my dad. Like, I'm cool with it being legal and everything. I love it for the economy and I love it for yeah, we need to have 1-800-GAMBLER still, but
oh yeah, everybody, if you have a problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. It's like I tell my wife, like it's not my vice of choice. Like it's like when I have a nice glass of whiskey and a cigar. Like I'll do it with you guys, but like, am I going to end my nights with that? Probably not.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
And no, obviously I'm not opposed to it. I bet on the Pacer game. Like,
yeah. And well, I mean, like I said, it'd be different if I was like, Dan, I just bet $100 on this weird parlay that I put together for baseball tonight. Note I know nothing about baseball, but I got $100 on it. Let's hope that it hits, right?
This guy's going to win. Yeah. This guy's going to win the Masters in Atlanta. I know it. Do you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, I'm literally betting $1. Like, well, whatever. Who cares, right? I mean, like, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, like I could find better things to do with my dollar, but in the moment, it's fun with my dollar.
Yeah. And yeah, no, I'll maybe when I get paid on Friday, I'll try to remember to deposit a little bit just in case something comes up. But but no, I'm just realizing what our time is. And hopefully we still have one listener left on these episodes where we just kind of just shoot it with each other. It's the off-season. I'm looking at the camera this time. Like, it's the off-season, guys. This episode's called Relax. It's the off-season. Like, if you don't enjoy this, like, we'll see you in August. We're kind of grasping at straws here, guys. Got some slacking.
Yeah. Well, I even had other topics to talk about we didn't get to. So if we need to do a Relax, it's the off-season part 2, I've got more.
Get on the spreadsheet. Here's another peek behind the curtain. 3 years into the show, I just now made a Google spreadsheet for off-season ideas. So this, in theory, shouldn't happen.
Well, they're not really great topics. They're just kind of like, random things like this to talk about for 5 minutes. They're not like a whole show.
Spreadsheet. I sent you all the spreadsheet, and I know James is busy now, but I'll get on him tomorrow to get on it. But no, I do say that, kid. I do say that facetiously. Like I love these kind of shoot it episodes. But we're at 45 minutes, and I got to get out of here. So I am going to reintroduce you all to our sponsor, and I got the graphic back.
Oh, now did you have to make it or did you find it?
Oh no, I found it. I just had to go to an email and re-download it. I don't know why. I don't know why it disappeared, but it's back now.
All right, boom.
Yes.
Everybody, go buy.
Yes, go to royalretros.com and check out their retro jersey collection. It's their staple. It's what they're known for. You here are football fans, which hopefully you're still listening, even though we spent 15 minutes talking about basketball. But they have jerseys for all the sports on there, all the major sports. And right now, they have a candlestick collection. It's curated with the Bay Area in mind. And you can use the promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order, not just one item. It's 10% off of your entire order when you use the promo code Shady Sports at checkout at royalretros.com. It helps us out. It helps our parent company, Shady Sports Network, out. Again, promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order at royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. Were you checking if the candlestick collection's still there?
Oh no, I was adding a show idea to the sheet.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Justify my effort I put into that, which was
Yes.
virtually no effort. I just had to Google how to make a Google sheet, which is ironic. But anyway, guys, we are still raising money for charity during this off season, and we were inspired to do this because of just a little bit of hypocrisy there is when it comes to player standards and owner standards. We find out players get in trouble like sometimes before their inner circle does, and owners, they get away with stuff for weeks, months, even years in some instances. So we just see a little bit of hypocrisy in that, and that's inspired us to create the hashtag owner accountability, owner standards over player standards, because we think they need to be held to the same accountability at minimum, if not more, than the players. And in doing that, we've also created these shirts, like I said. And here, maybe, there's the first one. This is more or less our standard shirt. It's got owner standards over player standards and our hashtag owner accountability on there. This has the most variety of colors, the most variety of designs, like long sleeve, hoodie, sweatshirt, all kinds of sizes. And all the proceeds from every one of these shirts I'm about to show you will be going to our crisis center in Kentucky that we have partnered with. The next shirt is the alternate the alternate show logo. I clicked the wrong one, but this is the alternate to the show logo that you see on Apple Podcasts and all the major podcast platforms. This one James has in red, and it's awesome. It is a wonderful shirt. Same thing, pricing starting at $22.99. Anyway, here's the OG. This is the cover art that you see when you start every single episode. This shirt is only in gray, but again, pricing starting at $22.99, all kinds of sizes and styles. And then our last shirt is our 49er peanut eating peanuts, patiently waiting now for, I guess, Hard Knocks would be the next big thing that he's looking forward to watching that offseason with the New York Giants front office. I guess that's what he's waiting for now, unless there's some deep dive like 49ers studio like OTA coverage or no, he'll do what I do sometimes. Watch David Lombardi on YouTube, like free plug for him. He's an athletic writer. That's amazing. But yeah, outside of that, those are our shirts, and I need to plug properly, or I should properly plug them, but I don't have their name on here, and I don't want to just say it incorrectly. So yeah, we're raising money for charity. We do not want any money for these shirts. We're giving all the proceeds to charity. So with that, I'm getting tongue-tied. James usually does this, and he's so much better at it than I am. The only bit of news that I could say to close out the episode is congratulations to Nico Collins signing his 3-year, $72 million extension with Houston. Yeah. So now they have Tank Dell and Nico Collins on their roster for the next 3 years, because Tank was a rookie last year. So literally the next 3 years they're under contract. And then whatever happens with Stephon Diggs, because they reworked his contract to basically be a 1-year deal. But yeah, Tank and Nico especially deserved it. Like, because I've seen a handful of Texans games because of the Colts. Like, yeah, congrats. He's a great receiver.
Yeah. I mean, that's money well spent. He was awesome last year for the Texans. And, if Stroud is really what he seems to be, then that Texans team is going to be scary real fast.
Yeah.
If he wasn't just a weird 1-year wonder for some reason, which probably doesn't seem that he was, then that Texans team is going to be scary real fast because they've got just a world of talent offensively that they've been able to amass so quickly. And then defensively,
Sean Watson.
yeah. And then defensively, they're solid as well. They're not as great on the defensive side of the ball as
they just got Danielle
offensive.
Hunter, remember?
Yeah. Just if I look at piece by piece the weapons they have offensively, it's a much better offense than it is a defense. But I'm 100%
It's still a solid defense. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
100% convinced that D'Amico can coach the shit out of them and get them to play great and play probably above their actual talent level. So that's why I'm saying that team can be scary fast. And now that I think about it, I probably should go place some sort of bet on them.
Oh, they're
to at least win. What are their odds to win the odds to win the AFC? The AFC South have got to be easy, right?
Oh, I don't have DraftKings right in front of me. I played around with my overlays. I don't have that anymore. I have all the schedules though, but that doesn't help. But no, the AFC South is theirs to lose. Like, it's just their offense is Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, and CJ Stroud.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got Mixon. I forgot they picked him up too.
No,
so, their offense is ridiculous.
The ceiling for this offense is top 5. Like, this offense could be stupid good. Like, flat out bottom line. Like, this offense has no reason to not be a top 5 if they actually hit on all cylinders. Like,
yeah, gosh, they better have a really good backup quarterback because like they're unfortunately just
it's General Mills. Yeah, it's still General Mills. They didn't trade him yet. He's still on his rookie deal.
Well, they're unfortunately
he's
CJ Stroud injury away from.
He's not that bad. He's not. He definitely shouldn't play over Stroud, but he wasn't that bad.
No.
There were worse quarterbacks in his class.
The Texans are plus 850 to win the AFC.
Ooh, is that worth like a little $2 bet?
Yeah, that's worth a $2 bet. Yeah. Am I going to bet that as soon as this show's over, Dan? Yes, I'm going to bet that as soon as this show is over.
I don't have another hour. I do have to dip, but that'd be great. Like, if we dedicated, like, you got no 49ers news. Look how stacked the AFC is. Can the Texans actually pull it off against the Chiefs, the Ravens? Let's not say the Bills, the Dolphins. Like,
I mean, I think
the Bengals, if Joe Burrow can stay healthy.
I'm going to go look at their defense and see how good their defense actually is.
I think they were top half. But yeah, no,
we don't have to keep talking on the show, but because we're just kind of rambling, but
yeah. That's all I got news-wise. I just wanted to celebrate Tank Dell. I love it when people get paid. So, anything you wanted to say real quick before I sign us off?
No, just thank you very much, everyone, for who listens to the show. We really appreciate you every single show, every single week. So thank you very much.
Yes, we will be back Friday with a mental health-centric episode with James. James will be back. And it's going to be a real special episode next week that we've been looking forward to doing. Another episode that's not about football. Sorry about that, guys, but it's
Happy
May.
Summer.
Yeah, it's May. But next week will be a real special episode for us. And yeah, we'll just see you then. The outro music is River Road by Justin Muth. So we'll catch you on Friday, guys.
Later.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, Where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you whine and cry.